Try the newest, cheapest, and fastest delivery na express service. Introducing Moto Express PH. You can now leave your shopping and delivery needs with us without much exposure and interaction to people outside. Mapa-grocery items, medicines, foods, and other essentials and halal-certified products, kami na ang mamimili at maghahatid sa'yo. Sinisigurado na ligtas, in good and quality condition ang mga pabili o orders sa delivery service na iyong i-avail. Para sa maayos at mabilis na delivery at order mo, ipamoto mo na. Download Moto Express PH app through Google Play that is built to deliver beyond your expectation. Tara na dito sa Moto Express. Dahil moto mo to.
Are you craving for some milk tea and donuts but you're watching your diet? Good news! You can now enjoy a healthier and superbly delicious keto milk tea and donuts here at Winkle Milk Tea and Winkle Donut. Has fewer calories, so it's good for the health and diet conscious and controlling weight. Why choose Winkle Milk Tea and Winkle Donut? The first halal certified milk Winkle Teas and Winkle Donut in the Philippines. The first healthy keto milk tea franchise in the Philippines. FDA approved. Uniquely infused milk tea flavors with high quality ingredients and premium taste. And if you want a healthy and refreshing franchise opportunity, a competitive healthy blended milk tea and donut franchise awaits you. We have business opportunity options you can choose from. Online seller, micro franchise, unit franchise, master franchise, international franchise. Order via our Facebook page, Winkle Tea and Winkle Donut, or contact 0995-551-4380 to experience this happiness in a box with your favorite Winkle Milk Tea and Winkle Donut.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to teach you on how to register in our platform. Firstly, you need to click www.ejasmine.com. This is how our platform interface looks like once you click www.ejasmine.com. As you can see, on the top right corner, click the login or register button. You will see two options, which is login button and register button. If you already have an account, just simply fill in your details.
Of course, I'm with person.
But if you does not have an account, click the register button and fill in your details requirement.
Sorry, again. Okay. So, hindi ko napansin na nakamute pala ako.
If you are interested for becoming a
everyone.
vendor, you can click become a vendor button below.
Many days season natin to this
For vendor
this
registration,
particular one.
you need to complete the details
Always
requirement.
make sure that you have your
If you
umbrella
have
with you,
halal
you're
certificate,
safe.
you need to upload it on this section. Last but not least, once you have completed all the detailed requirements, just click the register button. Thank you.
Okay. 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 So we're officially on air. Okay. So that's it. So thank you again for BBN and GPTV. Today I don't have any guest. Ako lang po ngayon, ano? But I have a very interesting session with you today as entrepreneurs, of course, because this TV channel is about entrepreneurs. I would like to share with you how you would know, especially for our students who's really struggling, di ba, after graduation, senior high school, even the college students struggling to find a job. How would you know if you are up to employment or you are for business entrepreneurship? So let me share with you my slide. Pasok na po tayo doon sa, ayan. Share ko lang po ang aking screen. Okay, screen is yes, okay. See? Ayun. First time ko tong gagawin. Okay. So here it is. How, especially the students, even po yung mga ano natin, ano, even how old we are, we can of course at least know if what level of entrepreneurial spirit do we have inside of us for us to be able to start a new business, or are we up for employment? Yun po kasi yung importante nating ma-decipher within ourselves para we would be committing less mistakes. Ayan. Okay. So if we are now, because we're going to start, here are some questions, okay, that we can check on ourselves for us to be able to know how entrepreneurial we are. Actually, kung nakita ko na to, this is the source is from the National Council on Economic Education. Kung nakita ko na to beforehand, in 1996 when I graduated college, siguro, 1993 pala. 1996 nagtatrabaho na ako. Okay, so siguro kung ito ay nakita ko beforehand, baka hindi ko na nagawa o hindi ko na ginawa yung mga ginawa ko para 100% accurate. Wala namang test na 100% accurate. But then again, at least this is a guide for you to decipher. Ayan. Of course, from the National Council on Education, on Economic Education, may basis to. May basis tong mga questions na to gauge how entrepreneurial we are. Okay, so let's start. So if you have your pen with you and your pencil, pen, and paper, okay? So you can just jot down kasi later on, magko-compute. Okay, so let's have an entrepreneurial quiz. How entrepreneurial are you? This entrepreneurial self-evaluation activity will help you gain a greater self-understanding as you determine if you have the traits found in successful entrepreneurs. Read each question and circle the letter of the sentence that describes you the best. Okay, so of course, kung nandyan pa ako, okay, yes, andyan pa ako. Okay, so let's move on to the first question. Are you self-motivated? Okay, so A, if someone gets me started on something, I can keep going and get the job done. I like to do things my own way and come up with my own ideas about how to accomplish things. That's 10 points. I prefer not to overdo it. I really don't like putting myself out unless it is really necessary. That's for letter C, and that's 5 points. Okay, so you have to choose one and then put on your paper letter B, for example, and then opposite letter B, the points. Kasi later on, you're going to compute. Next, are you a leader? I usually let people lead themselves. That's 5 points. I can get people to do things, but it's pretty difficult. That is 7 points. Most people go along with my ideas without too much difficulty. That is 10 points. Okay, so let's move on to the next. How organized are you? I like to make plans before I start something. I stick to my plan until it's done. That's 10 points. I just take things as they come. I don't like to stifle my possibilities with too many plans. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, nakafocus ka lang talaga. If things don't go according to my plan, I take it as a sign it wasn't meant to be. Okay, that is 7 points. So, what do you think? How organized are you? Is it letter A, letter B, Question number 4. How do you feel about people? Okay, so most people drive me crazy. That's 5 points. For letter B, I have enough friends. I make new ones only when necessary. That is 7 points. I really enjoy people and get along with them very well. That is 10 points. So how do you feel about people? Is it letter A, letter B, or letter C? Okay, let's move on to the next. Are you a good co-worker or are you a good worker pala? Sorry. So for letter A, I can work hard and push through until the goal is accomplished. I don't mind working hard. That's 10 points. Letter B, I will work hard if I know it will pay off right away. That's 7 points. And letter C, I prefer not to overdo it. I am very creative about coming up with ways to avoid hard work. That is 5 points. So, are you a good worker? So, which is it? Is it letter A? Is it letter B? Or is it letter C? Okay, moving on to the next. This is now number 6, but I would like to check if I'm still. Yes, okay, I'm there. Okay. So next, can you make decisions? Letter A, what time? I want time to make up my mind. Ikaw ba yung taong ganyan? You want to take time. Sabihin, medyo ano ka, tawag dito, hindi ka kaagad nagdedesisyon on the spur of the moment. I like to check things out with my friends first. You are the type of person na gusto mong humingi ng advice from other people. Letter B, I like to make my own decisions, good or bad. I am willing to put up with the consequences. That's 10 points. So letter B is somewhat a risk taker. And letter C, I would rather have others make the decisions. What if I make a mistake? Ito masyadong, anong tawag dito? Safe. Gusto niya safe siya. Siguro ito yung tao na gusto may masisisi siya. Okay, so can you make decisions? Will you be able to make decisions? So what is it? Is it letter A, letter B, or letter C? Okay, I'm doing my quiz myself too. Okay, so number 7. Can people trust you? Okay, let me see. Letter A, I try to avoid hurting people's feelings and say what I think they want to hear. Are you that? Letter B, I tend to say things in a straightforward way, even if other people may not agree with me. And C, I really don't care if people trust me. I do and say what I want. Oh, letter C, walang pakialam. So, how do you trust people? Is it letter A, to avoid hurting people? Letter C, letter B, or letter C? Okay. Hindi ko na po binabanggit yung mga points kasi nakikita naman po natin. Okay, so I hope you are with me. Siguro i-wrap up natin later. Okay, so number 8. Check me first kung I'm still there. Yes, I'm still. Hello. Okay. So, for number 8, can you stick with something? I usually finish what I started. That's 7 points. If something goes wrong or I find it difficult, I don't fight it. That's 5 points. C, if I set a goal and make up my mind to do something, nothing stops me. Okay, so can you stick with something? Pag sinabing stick with something, ibig sabihin, paninindigan mo ba to in Tagalog? Kaya mo bang panindigan to the last breath ba? Kumbaga, by hook or by crook, kailangan. So, is it letter A? Is it letter B? Or is it letter C? Okay, let's move on to question number 9. Do you take responsibility? This is very important. Whether you are working or you decide to be an entrepreneur, it is very important that we, of course, know how to take responsibility of our own actions. Letter A, I like to take charge and see things through. Ganyan ka ba? Letter B, I'll take over if I have to, but I prefer to let someone else be responsible. And letter C, there's always a bossy person around. Let them do it. Okay. Pasa-pasa lang ng trabaho ang letter C. So, do you take responsibility? Is it letter A? Is it letter B? Or is it letter C? Okay. Next. This is the last. Yeah. This is the last question. Are records important to you? So letter A, I understand the importance of records, but they stifle my creativity. Measure my success. Is that how you see records? Or C, I keep records in my head and I can figure it out as I go. Wow. Okay, so what do you think? Are you letter A, letter B, or letter C? Okay, let's do wrapped up. Kasi baka hindi po, yung iba na ngayon lang nag-tune in, hindi po na-catch up yung iba. Let's do a wrapped up, of course. So let's move on to the next. Again, this is Entrepreneurial Quiz, and we are measuring how entrepreneurial we are. The source is from the National Council on Creative. Letter A, if someone gets me started on something, I can keep like to do things my own and come up with my own ideas about how to accomplish things. C, I prefer not to overdo it. I really don't like putting myself out unless it is really necessary. Are you able to do things, but it's pretty difficult? Most people go along with my ideas without too much difficulty. Okay. 3. How organized are you? I like to make plans before I start something, and I stick to my plan until it's done. I just take things as a sign. It wasn't meant to be. Okay. 4. How organized? That's letter B. And for C, if things don't go according to my plan, I take this as a sign. It wasn't meant to be. Okay. So how do you feel about people? Most people drive me crazy. B, I have enough friends. I make new ones only when necessary. C, I really enjoy people and get along with them very well. Are you a good worker? Letter A, I can work hard and push through until the goal is accomplished. I don't mind working hard. Letter B, I will work hard if I know it will pay off it will pay off right away. Letter C, I prefer not to overdo it. I am very creative about coming up with ways to avoid hard work. 6. Can you make decisions? I want to make up my mind. I like to check things out with my friends first. B. I like to make my own decisions, good or bad. I am willing to put up with the consequences. C. I would rather have others make decisions. What if I make mistakes? 7. Can people trust you? I try to avoid hurting people's feelings and say what I think they want to hear. I tend to say things in a straightforward way, even if other people may not agree with me. I really don't care if people trust me. I do and say what I want. That's letter C. For 8, can you stick with something? I usually finish what I start. If something goes wrong or I find it too difficult, I don't fight it. Letter C, if I set a goal and make up my mind to do something, nothing stops me. 9, do you take responsibility? Letter A, I like to take charge too, but I prefer to let someone else be responsible. There's always a bossy person around. Let them do it. And the last, I understand the importance of records, but they stifle my creativity. B, records are critical to help me measure my success. And C, I keep records in my head rather, and I can figure it out as I go along. That is for our records important to you. So this is how we are going to complete be 10 answers circled, of course. But in our case, it's not circled, of course, because we are just jotting it down in our paper. Take the number of point in parentheses after each of the number and add them all together. If you would like to use a calculator to add your point, you may do so. Syempre, hindi man ako magaling sa math. Okay, the sum of your total points should be no larger than 100 and no smaller than 50. Use the figures below to describe how entrepreneurial you may be. Okay, so let's see. I have 10, 10, 7, 7, 10, 10, 10, 7, 10, 10. Wow. Okay. So I got 80, almost 80. So if you have very strong, if you are 186, you have a very strong entrepreneurial characteristics. Take the advice of Debbie Fields and find out what you love to do and become the best at it. You have what it takes to become a successful entrepreneur. Okay. Now, if your score is between 85 to 71, if you truly have a desire to be an entrepreneur and you scored in this range, determine your weaknesses and overcome them. Remember, to do something well builds confidence. Ayan. And the last, if your points is 70 to 50, you may want to consider working in a position where you are more secure and comfortable. The risks and commitment level required of an entrepreneur may be difficult for you at this time. See, meron pong word dito na at this time. Ibig sabihin po, kasi di ba as we go along, tumatanda tayo, kung tinake mo tong quiz na to ng 18 ka, tinake mo tong quiz na to ng 20 ka, if you're 18 and you are 20, syempre your mind frame is different. Marami ka ng experiences at scoring natin dito. So sabi nga dito, as of this time or for you at this time. Kasi as of this time, baka yan yung state of being mo. But maybe after 5 years or 10 years, mag-iiba na. If you want to become more entrepreneurial, set some goals. Sabi nga po ni John Maxwell, people who achieve their potential do so because they invest in themselves every day. What does this mean? Of course, when we say investment, okay, let me go back to the studio. Ayan. I will stop sharing. Okay. So, pag sinabi pong natin na investing in ourselves, it is really very important that we forgo education. More education. It doesn't mean that you really have to. Yung iba po kasi, sinasabi nila, wala tayong pera, hindi natin kaya ang university, hindi natin kaya ang masteral, etc., etc. But we can still learn something. Ang TESDA po ay isa sa government institution wherein nagbibigay po ng mga free trainings. Ayan, para malaman po natin kung ano yung dapat nating malaman. Kung ano man po yung gusto natin gawin. Okay, so just for example, if you want to be a barista, meron po ang TESDA, and of course, pwede tayong matuto doon. And that is, marami pong institution. Siguro lang po, kailangan lang natin konting kita. Ayan po. So, kailangan po na, syempre, resourceful din tayo. Hindi naman kasi sa lahat ng pagkakataon, especially sa mga batang nakikinig ngayon, hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon, merong teacher, merong magulang, merong kaibigan na magbibigay sa iyo ng information. It is always best that you should learn how to stand alone. So, kailangan at saka kung paano hanapin, kung ano yung dapat mong hanapin. Kasi that's the basic education na binibigay natin sa school. It's not really, of course, sabi nga nila, 80% of what we learned, we forget. Bakit? Kasi ang daming distractions. And ang number one distraction, of course, is the teacher. Sabi nga nila. So, yung estudyante kasi, madalas, kapag di nyo gusto yung teacher niya, talagang hindi siya natututo. And malaking factor si teacher na kapag gusto siya ng estudyante niya, talagang natututo yung bata. Okay, aside from the fact na alisin natin yung teacher tututo because of eskwelahan. Okay, to be resourceful. Yun yung number one. Yun yung reason kung bakit pinapagawa ang napakaraming activities. May mga activities kayong ginagawa sa school. Syempre, yung iba, sasabihin nila, bakit napakadami? Dapat academic is, tanggalin lahat yun. Tapos dapat maging mabait sa estudyante. Sa totoo lang, may reason kung bakit ginagawa yung mga activities na yon. Kasi pag ginawa yon, o say for example, nag-overlap na yung mga activities natin, it's time management. It's how you manage your time. Matututunan mong i-manage yung time mo, yung resources mo, kapag ka nandoon ka sa ganong situation. You will never learn kung wala ka sa sitwasyon na yun. Kung puro theories lang tayo, wala tayong masyadong matututunan. Okay, so as I've said, as what I would like to, of course, reiterate that these are basics in education. Wag na nating tingnan yung mga summative test, wag na nating tingnan yung all other things in education. Pero ano ba yung basic na natututunan natin? It's all about attitude. Okay, so kailangan po na yun lang. Tingnan natin, hanapin natin, kasi hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon may taong magpo-provide ng information sa atin. Especially, I'm talking about students. Of course, yung mga grown-ups like me, we know how to do it. Sa edad ba naman natin to, hindi pa ba natin alam? Of course. So, ang sinasabi ko lang po dito is about the students. So, you students, please remember what is not learned academically. Kasi yung academic, mas madali yan matutunan kapag, di ba? Most of the time, you just memorize the terminologies, ganyan. So, mag-take ka ng exam, it's all just memorization. But, yung natututunan nyo on that particular moment, on a very difficult situation, how you deal with people, how you talk to your classmates, these are things, sociability and everything. Ito yung mga basics na natututunan natin sa school. Okay? Walang theories. Hindi siya classroom based. Okay? So these are very important. Ayan po. So I guess I was able to provide something today very meaningful from the National Council of Education. Actually, to tell you honestly, nagbago yung aking score. Before, when I was 30 years old, nung tinake ko yung exam, binigay ko na to sa mga students ko before in college. I was teaching business, of course, in a college. Hindi ko na po babanggitin ko ng kolehiyo yan. Ayan po, nag-scoring ako. Yeah, nag-scoring ako. So, I got 80 above. Hindi ko na po sasabihin kung alin dun sa ano na yun. Pero, it improved. Nakalagay doon, kung titingnan ko siya, kung I will be, of course, be positive and looking at the scores, I would be happy to know that at this time at my age, I am very entrepreneurial. Okay. So, yun po ang sinasabi ng score ko. But when I was in my 30s, hindi po ganun. 50 to 70. Yan, that's my score before. Yan po. So, which I realized for employment over the years, Okay, so I get myself employed with different colleges. And then now I am in public school. Dito po sa Antipolo City Senior High School. But now, with you, as I took the exam again, ayan, nagbago na siya. So which means, entrepreneurial na pala ako. Pwede na pala akong mag-business. So sino kaya ang gustong sumama sa akin? Anyway, sa opening po ng ating program, I always see ito pong Winkle Tea, Winkle Milk Tea, and Winkle Donuts. Okay, I am actually thinking of having a franchise or going to yung stocks. Kaya lang walang stocks ngayon because of the pandemic. Medyo mababa po lahat ng bintahan, malulugi tayo. So pagka sa negosyo rin, titingnan din natin yung situations right now that we have. Ayan. So kung ganito po ang sitwasyon natin, stop muna. Stop sa stocks kasi hindi ka kikita dyan for now. And then, of course, tingnan niyo yung what's the needs and the wants of the people if you really want to have a business at this time. Tapos, ano po ba ang trend ngayon? Because people cannot really go out as often as they want. What is the best option for people? Of course, magpa-deliver. So, yan po yung ginagawa na halos na lahat ng marami. So, what else can you do? You have to look into the needs and the wants. Katulad po nung, I remember, nung guest ko po si Miss Ana de la Cruz, she was talking about the needs and the wants of the people. Okay? Totoo po yun. Kasi when you want to start a business, you have to understand people. But first, of course, sabi nga po nila, titingnan mo yung sarili mo. You have to check. Kasi ikaw ay entrepreneur. Ikaw ay isa sa mga buyers, hindi ka seller. Okay, before you can be an entrepreneur, before you can actually sell, before you can be ang tawag dito, an owner of a company, you are of course first and foremost a buyer. So customer ka. So in the shoes of the customer, you have to put yourselves in the shoes of the customer. What are the needs and the wants? So at this particular time that we are in, this pandemic situations that we have right now, ano kaya ang needs and wants ng tao? Pero of course, syempre, aside from that, you have to also look into kung ano yung particular needs and wants na yan na magsusustain sa inyo. Kasi meron din naman kasi akong nakikita, but I don't wanna discuss. Pero may nakikita ako sa Facebook, nakikita ko sa Instagram, nakikita ko rin minsan kasi nakikita ko rin siya sa TikTok. Meron din po nagpo-post doon. And also my friends, when I get to talk to them, okay, so sinasabi nila, pag marami pong mga products and services na hindi siya nag-fit in sa situation that we have right now. So if that will be what happens? Hindi po tayo masusustain sa ating business. So it's really, what's happening? Okay. So it is really very important, as I've said, na makita po natin yung magsusustain ng business natin. Sometimes it is just a flash in the pan. What do I mean by this? Ito po yung klase ng mga products and services na yes, tatangkilikin, but for now. Hindi siya tatangkilikin ng mga tao for the longest time. Okay? So kung ganun po yung makikita nating business, o yan ang gusto nating, we have to analyze kung if the business that we're trying to build is a flash in the pan. If it's that, sayang lang po. Of course, merong bibili sa'yo. Wala namang problema doon. Kaya lang, gaano katagal? Kasi in the long run, baka lumipat din sila. Tapos, ito yung mga klase ng products and services na madaling pagsawaan ng tao. So, kaya nga kailangan, when we look at a particular product, we have to analyze if it is not just a want, it will be a need eventually. Kasi if it's just a want, it is a flash in the pan. Sa economic concept po, applied economics, laging binabanggit yung needs and wants. Yes, of course, tama naman po yun. But, I would just like to reiterate as a teacher that the wants of people are not what? Hindi siya sustainable for business. Why? Because people, tayo by nature, ang wants natin pabago-bago. Pero ang needs natin nag-iisa. And yung mga needs na yan po talaga yung talagang kailangan ng tao. If people needs that will be a very sustainable business for you. But if it's just a want, tapos pag want kasi, sabi ko nga, madaling pagsawaan ng tao, it will not sustain you. So you would want a business that will sustain you for a lifetime. And hindi lang basta small business ito, mag-grow siya into, hindi lang siya basta MSME, magiging MSE, or you will be, of course, belong to the SME, hindi ka na micro, you will be just a small business entrepreneur or enterprise, and then conglomerate, big companies, diba? So yun yung kaya ka pumapasok sa negosyo, it's because you want to grow. You don't want to stay micro the rest of your life. Okay, so ang essence ng pagnenegosyo is not to stay micro, but to grow. That's for the applied economics. Why to grow? Sige, tatanungin iba, bakit? Pwede namang micro lang. No, we have to grow. Why? Because it's beyond profit. It's just, doing business is not just for profit alone. It's beyond profit. You have a social responsibility. You have to grow your business. Why? Because people needs job. Hindi ba yun yung purpose? The reason why we do business is because we want to help other people. We want to help the economy. Para hindi lang maliit na portion ng income mo ang binibigay mo sa gobyerno. It can be a larger amount of money that you can give and provide, and then of course eventually help the economy as a whole. Just like what's happened to Jollibee. Dati maliit lang siya. It's a micro company. I came from Jollibee Foods Corporation sa Greenwich particularly. So I've known the history of Jollibee. So it's a very small company and it gets larger. Now it's a conglomerate company with different branches from different countries. Ayan. Dito sa atin sa Philippines, ang dami-dami niyang branches all over the Philippines and of course from abroad. Ang dami niyang natutulungan tao. Yung mga crews, yung mga estudyante na gusto mag-part-time job. That's the reason why we enter into a business. Because at first, yes, it's profit, but later on, it will go beyond profit. We want to help. It's social responsibility. We want to help our countrymen, the people, and of course, the nation. Okay. No, masyado kang idealistic. Tawag dito. Ano masasabihin ng iba? Ninanakaw naman yan ng gobyerno, etc., etc. If we're going to think that way, nothing will prosper. Okay, so you just have to see yourself as someone na may social responsibility and just do your part. Let's just stop thinking of so many things na hindi naman natin dapat iniisip. Kung nangyayari yun, wala tayong magagawa. Diba? Hindi natin alam kung ano yung mga sitwasyon sa gobyerno. Hindi natin alam kung ano nangyayari talaga doon. We could always speculate, but we can never know what's really happening. So, in our own ways, we just have to be that person, okay? We just have to be that person na pursuing a social responsibility for others and for the whole country. This is not only for you kasi. This is only for your family also and for other people. Yan po yung pinaka-essence ng pagiging entrepreneur. So I hope that I was able to provide something worthwhile for today with that particular may message for the viewers ba tayo? Okay, but most of the time kasi my friends are watching late. My students are, of course. Most of the time, they are watching the replays instead of the live. But if there are people who's watching right now, thank you so much. If you have no questions, thank you. But if you have, I am here to answer your question. So again, thank you for for staying with me and looking into this session with me. I'll see you again next week as my time is already up. Thank you so much. I just hope that I was able to provide something for you. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.